Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Comprehensive manga. Man in the Moon, summoning White Gundam. At the beginning, Zhao Ziqing traveled through the world of manga and unfortunately became embroiled in the Holy Grail War. At a critical moment, the system awakens. As long as you rewrite the plot, you can receive rewards. So, under the influence of Zhao Ziqing, the plot's direction has gradually become eerie. Ellie. Old thing, it should have exploded with gold coins long ago. Sakura. Help me, brother Holy Sword Envoy. Daimao. Family, finally we have dinner. Tiamat. They shouted for bonds, the future or something, and rushed over. Goddess of Waste. Gilgamesh is dead again. Darling. Well done. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. System Awakening. Goddess from the Endless. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The pale moonlight shone into the narrow house. The orange-haired youth, half of his face smashed, fell to the ground with no strength and made a dull noise. The only remaining half of the face of the corpse was twisted and deformed due to pain during his lifetime. Even after death, there is no peace. The deceased's name is Ryanosuke. Self-proclaimed. A student currently seeking employment. But actually he is a serial killer who has committed dozens of murders. Dida. Dida. The blood dripping along the crowbar cleverly combined with the sound of the bell. In the shadows beyond the reach of moonlight, the young man holding a crowbar is still reminiscing about what happened just now. His name is Zhao Ziqing. Identity is a traveler who has just arrived in this world. But it was not kindness that greeted him, but a vicious murderer. In a fierce battle, he successfully killed his opponent. But the butterfly of fate flaps its wings. The evil that should have belonged to Long Jijia has already been transferred to Zhao Ziqing. Hiss. It hurts so much. The sharp pain emanating from the back of his left hand made Zhao Ziqing's eyebrows furrow. A series of eerie red patterns emerged from Zhao Ziqing's left back, quickly drawn into a eerie pattern. This eerie feeling. It seems like a hot soldering iron, forcefully burning a strange pattern on the back of the left hand. That's 6 unfolded wings. In a dim environment, emitting a demonic blood light. Curse. At a glance, Zhao Ziqing determined the specific origin of this object. Combined with the deceased serial killer, he immediately confirmed the world he belonged to. Xingyue world. If nothing unexpected happens, the city he is currently in is the legendary city of Dongmu. Every lord selected by the Holy Grail will have traces of a curse on the back of their hands. From this moment on, it signifies that he has been chosen by the Holy Grail. Become one of the 7 lords of the Holy Grail War. What a sin! Why did I just travel here? As the light of the curse gradually faded, Zhao Ziqing looked at the red curse on his left back and sighed bitterly. A very serious question is right in front of him. Unlike the other 6 lords in the Holy Grail War, Zhao Ziqing is just an ordinary person, not a magician at all. He doesn't know how to summon his followers, let alone the magic circuit. For other lords, he is simply a prey sent to their doorstep. Even novice magicians can easily kill him. Making him participate in the Holy Grail War is almost equivalent to making him die. Just as Zhao Ziqing was in a difficult situation. Ding. A strange and crisp sound echoed in his mind. Detected the Lord, facing a crisis. The system is currently being activated, please wait. The event system has been successfully activated. Change the plot to receive rewards, change the plot. Zhao Ziqing frowned in confusion and looked at the system pop up in front of him. He seemed to have some associations, his gaze fixed on the corpse on the ground. Yusheng Ryanosuke, the lord of the warlock group in the 4th Holy Grail War. I am a serial murderer who has committed numerous crimes. If you kill it before the story starts. It should also be considered rewrite the plot, right ding. You successfully counterattacked. Ryanosuk Yusei. You have rewritten the plot, reward. Spirit summoning permission. As expected. The benefits for the travelers have finally been credited. Zhao Ziqing looked at the pop-up window of the system and a smile appeared on his face. An event system without independent consciousness is a cold machine. Only by rewriting the event will the system be activated and provide corresponding rewards. Not only that. It seems like I'm worried about the Lord and don't understand the use of props. The system also provides thoughtful instructions on the props. Introduction to props. Name. Spirit Summoning Authority Level. Rare, Purple, Type. Disposable Consumables Introduction. After activating this permission, it will automatically match with the spirit that best suits you. Tip. Silently recite, use item, to activate, please use it as soon as possible. Even monkeys can understand the introduction and appear in front of Zhao Ziqing. Use props. After seeing the system instructions, Zhao Ziqing did not hesitate at all. He just killed a serial killer with a life on his back. Unfortunately, he was once again involved in the cruel Holy Grail War and became the Lord. In his current situation, he must quickly have the ability to protect himself. A strong follower is clearly a wise choice. When words fall, the curse on the back of his hand bloomed with piercing blood and bright light. The brilliant 7-colored lights surrounded Zhao Ziqing, transforming into a giant colorful summoning array. The pure white and holy angel feathers emerge from the magic circle, emitting a dazzling light. Accompanied by intense tremors of lightning and thunder. A tall figure, about 1.7 meters tall, emerged from the dazzling colorful array, blurry figures. When the dazzling light gradually fades. The contract servant, wearing silver knight armor and the holy silver lion helmet, only then can reveal his true essence. Through the lion helmet, the golden pupils revealed exude a majestic aura of clear emerald green. Shocking yet calm and gentle. Just like a saint who has experienced 1,000 years of loneliness and has already looked down on everything. Like a goddess from the end, a majestic king who commands 1,000 armies. I'll respond to you. I am your servant, Lancer, Knight of the Spear. With the endless spear, become the one of your power. A cold and majestic noble female voice sounded from the core of the magic circle. At the moment of seeing his own followers, Zhao Ziqing felt a bit dazed. This is not because of the stunning beauty of one's own followers. But rather her identity, the Lion King. No. To be precise, she should be the goddess who regains her personality. Altoria Pandragon. P.S. Seeking data, seeking flowers. 5 chapters of guaranteed updates. Kneel down to thank brothers and sisters, uncles, please. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. The King of Understanding People's Hearts. The biggest loser in the Fourth World War. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. After a brief silence, Zhao Ziqing smiled with emotion and responded to the follower in front of him in an easygoing tone. I am your lord. But just an ordinary person without magic. Zhao Ziqing shrugged his shoulders, with a carefree smile on his face. After hearing about the humble self-introduction of my own lord. The goddess who followed the call, her sexy lips hidden under the lion helmet, slightly raised. Great people are not born great. Just showing differences in growth. I am honored to witness your growth. Your Majesty. The Lion King responded gently. But in these words of encouragement, there is actually a hint of indulgence. Yeah, her 1,000-mile eyes can see through the past and predict the future. There is nothing in the world that can escape her observation. Only this Lord is an existence that she cannot observe. Although her 1,000-mile eyes are already in full swing. I can only see a few blurry images about the future. How could such a strange young man be an ordinary person? You truly deserve to be a king. Speaking is simply pleasing to the ear. Unfortunately, I am not a saint, not even a good person. Zhao Ziqing raised his thumb and praised the follower in front of him. Then he lifted his palm and pointed towards the corpse in the corner. Lancer. Knight of the Gun, can you accept your lord as a murderer? Zhao Ziqing looked at the Lion King with clear eyes and asked sharp questions. For him Altoria Pendragon. He is the acclaimed king of knights. How could such a noble king tolerate the existence of stains? When I hear a question from my own lord. The Lion King shook his head slightly. She walked out of the core of the magic circle and came to the side of the lord. She took off the silver lion helmet, and a few strands of golden long hair hung down, adding a touch of softness to her majestic face. Damn, people are not worthy of sympathy. Just suffering the Lord, to bear this evil burden. In the future, let me handle such small matters. She lifted her alloy cast handguard and gently wiped the bloodstains splattered on the Lord's face like a wife. At the moment of arrival, she had already smelled a bloody smell in the air. As a deity, how could she not notice that terrifying corpse? As mentioned earlier, the 1,000-mile eye of this goddess is of the same level as the Magic King. Therefore, she already knows what happened here before, including the identity of the deceased. The introduction of the rain-born dragon, a fugitive serial killer. Dozens of people have been brutally killed so far, huh? I can rest assured about that. The attitude of the Lion King relieved Zhao Ziqing. Compared to a stubborn girl holding a holy sword and raising the flag of morality. The Lion King in front of me clearly understands human hearts better. Next, under the gaze of the Lion King, Zhao Ziqing suppressed his disgust and rummaged through the pockets of the corpse to find a wallet. He openly opened it and counted the internal cash, but his brow furrowed slightly. Is it 100,000 yuan? Looking at the cash in his wallet, Zhao Ziqing sighed in disgust. For him who travels through the flesh, there is no place to settle down yet. No identity. There is no place to live. No job. To solve the problem of 3 meals a day and accommodation. Money, of course, the more, the better. Faced with the scene before him, the Lion King remained silent. Because it is common to seize enemy supplies on the battlefield. Moreover, she had already realized the difficulties that her lord was currently facing. Lord, I have explored through the 1,000-mile eye. Knowing that this is the residence of Rain-born Dragon Intermediary. Although it's a bit small, it's barely enough to accommodate 2 people. Before finding a bigger residence, let's use this place as a base. The Lion King doted on a smile and spoke up to offer advice for his own lord. From the moment of the present, this king has already seen scenes about the future through the 1,000-mile eye. Although it's just a few blurry images, each one is heart-wrenching. The dark red sky, the gushing black mud, formed a tsunami that could destroy the world. The arrogant Golden King, a terrifying treasure that covers the sky and earth. A holy maiden who is dominated by revenge and transforms into a witch. The Lord holding the salvation sword becomes the last hope. A future scene constructed from only 4 images. But it conveys an important message. That's it. This young lord. In the near future, I will transform into a hero who saves the stars. This planet with 6 billion creatures. And inherit human civilization for nearly 10,000 years. They all fall on the small shoulders of the Lord. The Lion King, who witnessed all of this, recalls himself 1,000 years ago. She, who has experienced it firsthand, understands this ordeal more than anyone else. Therefore the only thing she can do. It's the help of becoming the Lord. Even if facing all the evil in this world, she must stand in front of the Lord. As the Lion King, protect your own lord and successfully save the world. Be his reliance, give him a gentle push when he can't walk down. Because she has a secret hidden in her heart, she knows the young man in front of her once at a special point, he assisted Bedevil in finding the savior of her personality. Ha! Zhao Ziqing stood up from the ground and looked at the Lion King in confusion. He thought his behavior was immoral enough. But I didn't expect His Majesty the Lion King is even more ruthless than him. Kill you, spend your money, and live in your house. Damn it. Yuzuru Ryanosuk is probably going to become the biggest loser in the Fourth Holy Grail War. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. System Rewards. Fantasy Life Simulation. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. In 1 minute a dazzling golden light shone from inside the house. The body of Yuzuru Ryanosuk lying on the ground is now completely devoid of dust. Even the scattered blood on the ground was shot by the holy spear and decomposed into elemental particles. Besides, there is no damage to any items in this residence. This Lion King's use of the endless spear has reached a level of perfection. Zhao Ziqing, who witnessed all of this, opened the closed window and prepared to let go of the smell inside the house. He looked up at the pale moon in the night sky, his bright eyes flashing with a hint of complexity. This is the world of the moon. In this world where magic is revered, the lives of ordinary people are like dust floating in the air, worthless. Even if you die one day, no one will care. If it's gone, it's gone. There is only one way to survive and live a stable life. Unable to change, then join. Strive to become a magician. Starting from the Fourth Holy Grail War. He wants to become one of the 7 lords who participated in the war. For the sake of a happy life in the future, let the Lion King use the Holy Spear to completely destroy the Holy Grail. Even if do not hesitate to use the command curse to command the Lion King. Thinking of this, Zhao Ziqing's bright eyes showed a determined expression. Ding! You choose to participate in Fourth Holy Grail War. You have rewritten the plot, reward. Fantasy Life Simulation Qualification. Just like killing Ryanosuk before. At the moment when Zhao Ziqing decided to participate in the Holy Grail War, the system triggered the reward again. Introduction to props. Name. Fantasy Life Simulation Qualification Level. Epic Gold Type. Disposable Consumables Introduction. At the end of the Sims, the Lord will receive all rewards. Tip. Silently recite, use item, to activate, please use it as soon as possible. When Zhao Ziqing saw the reward system, there was a hint of excitement in his eyes. What he needs most now is to enhance his own strength and the means to save his life. The rewards provided by the system are simply perfect for Zhao Ziqing. We must hurry up now. Just as Zhao Ziqing was pondering, the sound of making a blanket could be heard from behind him. He, who was not sure why, turned around and looked behind him. But he found that the Lion King he summoned was actually laying a blanket. Lion King, who are you? Zhao Ziqing turned around and looked at the strange Lion King with confusion. How noble is this king's identity? How can we help him make a blanket? It's getting late, Lord. You should rest now. Come on. The Lion King patted the prepared blanket with a soft smile on his face, gesturing for his lord to come and rest. Ah, this. Zhao Ziqing was taken aback for a moment, not realizing that this quilt was actually laid for him. Lord, while you are sleeping, I will protect you. Please rest assured that my body has long been transformed into a divine body. Even if you don't eat, drink, or sleep, it won't have any impact. The Lion King explained gently. She understands the past of her own lord and also knows the future of this lord. All she can do is to protect the present and help the lord as much as possible. Despite her esteemed status, there is no need to take this step. But apart from her, there is no other reliance by the side of the Lord. Even if it's just a small detail in life, it can make this suffering Lord a little more comfortable. That's also worth it. I'll handle this small matter myself in the future. Zhao Ziqing shrugged his shoulders and lazily lay in the bedding laid by the Lion King. Having just experienced a life and death battle, he is indeed very tired now and needs a good rest. Just the Lion King, dressed in armor, sat on the side with a gentle expression on his face. She did not transform into a spiritual body, but remained as a physical entity in the world. How could Zhao Ziqing sleep under the gaze of such a presence? Lion King, you can spiritualize. You're like this. I can't sleep. Zhao Ziqing, wrapped in a blanket, looked a bit embarrassed and spoke softly to remind the Lion King. I'm afraid. I'm going to disappoint you. Lord, what you summoned is my true form. I haven't died yet, why did I become spiritualized? Upon hearing these words, the Lion King raised his eyebrows and responded with indulgence. What? You? Still alive? After hearing this, Zhao Ziqing's eyes showed an incredulous expression. Oh my goodness! If the Lion King is not joking. Isn't what he summoned the true form of the Lion King? This is a genuine deity, not an ordinary follower. Faced with the Lord's doubts, the Lion King gently picked up the hand of his Lord and pressed it against his cold silver-white breastplate. Pop it. Pop it. Even through thick armor, one can still hear the beating heart of the dragon. Your Majesty, can you feel it? This genuine heartbeat. The Lion King spoke very tactfully, fearing that it would hurt the Lord's self-esteem. But Zhao Ziqing listened very clearly. The Lion King is independent. She doesn't need anyone to add magic, and the protection of the Holy Spirit keeps her in full bloom at all times. I'm afraid even the curse cannot have an impact on her. Because she is not a heroic spirit at all, but a goddess. Goddess. Rungamini-At. Even if we return the Holy Sword and retrieve the humanity named Altolia. She is still a noble deity. Is it something that the curse can limit? After understanding everything, Lion King, why did you participate in the Holy Grail War? Do you have any wishes that require the Holy Grail to come true? Zhao Ziqing sat up from the bedding and asked the smiling Lion King in front of him. He needs to know the truth because this matter is related to his safety. I have no wishes that need to be fulfilled. I'm not interested in the Holy Grail either. I just received your help. That's why I followed my oath to become your strength in this world, relying on the endless spear. The Lion King shook his head slightly, lifted his tender and warm little hand, and picked up the bewildered little face of the Lord. Take a closer look. Apart from hair color and pupils, this still childish little face looks like a rural girl from the past. Whenever she gazes at this face, it makes her feel moved by the scenery and instinctively reveals sincere emotions. Like it's so much like, it's getting late. Lord, you should hurry up and rest. The Lion King spoke gently, and wearing armor, she did not get up and leave. She still sat on the bedding, gazing gently at her lord. Okay. Zhao Ziqing reluctantly lay back. The feeling of being stared at while sleeping makes him a bit uncomfortable. However, he obviously has more important things to do than sleep. For example, use props. Fantasy life simulation qualification. Simulate. Start Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. The Son of Qi Yun. The Salvation Hero of the Fairy Kingdom. You are listening at novel-full.audio. When the fantasy life simulation qualification is used, the moment after use. A golden virtual screen appeared in front of Zhao Ziqing. This is a virtual screen that only he can see. Even the Lion King, who was less than half a body away from him, did not notice any abnormality. What would be the difficulty level of this simulation? Simple. A life of great wealth and prosperity. Ordinary. A plain and indifferent life. Difficulty. A life full of fantasy. Note. Different difficulty levels will affect the final reward. Option 3. Difficulty. Zhao Ziqing saw the system prompt and gave instructions in his heart. He needs strength, at least not inferior to that of a follower. Only then he can become the one who laughs the last in the Fourth Holy Grail War. After Zhao Ziqing made his choice, a new round of options quickly appeared again. All sentient beings have their own destiny. What would you like your persona to be? The son of Qi Luck, Jin. You are the person to whom the heavenly Tao Qi Luck belongs. The Lord of the Plain, Z. You are the ruler of this world. Red dust sentient beings white. You are just a mortal in this world. Note. This selection will directly determine your future achievements. Option 1. Son of Qi Yun. Zhao Ziqing made a decisive decision. The reward level provided by the system. The highest level that Zhao Ziqing is currently exposed to is the golden reward. Faced with such a choice, choose the golden option. There will definitely be no mistakes. After making the decision, new options reappear once again. All kinds of weather luck surround you. The fantasy world has welcomed your birth. What is your desired background for birth? Salvation hero, Jin. You bear the great mission of saving the stars. Being a king, Z. You are a born king with noble bloodline. Knight family, blue. Your dream is to become a knight. Note. This choice will affect your life, please choose carefully. Option 1. Salvation heroes. Zhao Ziqing continued to silently recite in his heart, while licking his dry lips. The son of fortune, the hero of salvation. There seemed to be an unknown force guiding him to make a choice in the dark. These two golden options will definitely complement each other and bring unexpected magical effects. Soon a new round of options appears once again. Race will determine your upper limit. It has a significant impact on the future. What is your race? Human, blue. You are a natural pathogen and the most perfect human. Fairy, blue. You are a member of the fairy and were born with powerful abilities. Monster, purple. You are a wandering monster, a disaster born for revenge. Option 1. Humans. Zhao Ziqing thought of himself and decisively chose humanity. The reason is very simple. After this simulation ends, he will gain all the power in the simulation. Whether it's a fairy or a monster, it is likely to cause some degree of interference to the body or soul after fusion. This is what he doesn't want to see. Therefore, choosing a human race is the safest option. Young, you may not know yet. An unexpected childhood adventure may change the trajectory of your life. What would you like your adventure to be? Ancient ruins, purple. Dust-covered ancient ruins that may have some kind of inheritance. Kendo inheritance, purple. The inheritance left by a swordsman is a skill you have cultivated since childhood. The river god of the other realm, Jin. Young hero, honesty will bring you unexpected rewards. Option 3. The river god of the other realm. Zhao Ziqing quickly made a choice. His intuition told him that this random opportunity like the river god would change the progression of the story plot, bringing him unexpected special gains, allowing this simulation to go even further. Your selection is complete. World match successful, current world. Strange tales. Fairy roundtable realm. What? Seeing his simulated life, Zhao Ziqing couldn't hold his breath. He twitched at the corner of his mouth, realizing that he had made the wrong choice. Fairy kingdom. That's a kingdom dominated by fairies. The humans in that world are just creatures created. Life is only 30 years, unable to conceive, not to mention weak strength. Even so, humans still retain their imagination and creativity. This is an excellent quality that the fairies of the fairy kingdom cannot possess. That's why creativity that only humans possess can bring happiness to fairies. But fairies are extremely cruel to humans and enjoy killing them. As a human born in that dark world, it's just a horror story. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Wang's Knee Pillow. Yong, picked up by Sister Wang. You are listening at novel full.audio. What should we do? This simulation life, no matter how you look at it, is a tragedy. On Zhao Ziqing's forehead, some beads of sweat appeared, and his face looked a bit ugly. Your Majesty, do you have something on your mind? The Lion King noticed something unusual about the Lord and expressed a gentle concern. It's okay. I just can't sleep a bit, the pillow is too low. Zhao Ziqing casually found an excuse, trying to pass it by. Is it a pillow? The Lion King looked at the low pillow as if lost in thought. Her silver armor turned into a sacred light and dissipated in the gaze of Zhao Ziqing. Instead, it was a luxurious dress in deep blue with embroidered golden patterns. She withdrew her low little pillow and sat next to her lord. Suspend the head of the lord in the air and place it on one's own leg. The just right height, combined with a soft touch, made Zhao Ziqing's face immediately appear with two blushes. Do you think so? Is this the legendary knee pillow? Especially when he lifted his head, the heavy weight of terror mixed his breath with a hint of trembling. I fainted, my head is starting to become abnormal just in a daze, consciousness has become blurred. In Zhao Ziqing's mind, only the systematic broadcast was left, still sounding formulaic. The Sims will officially start in 3 seconds, 3. 2, I. In the year 4016 of the fairy calendar as a human, you were born from the inner sea of the stars. A mysterious voice tells you that you bear the heavy responsibility of saving the stars. As a baby, you were placed in a wooden basin and drifted into the territory of the Rain Clan. The Rain Princess, who is playing by the river, has discovered you. She, like you, comes from the Star Inland Sea, also known as the Paradise. Perhaps it's the first time I've seen such a fragile and immature life like you. She held you in her arms, and from you, she felt the breath of home. The girl hid you in her clothes like a treasure and quietly carried you back. She named you Arthur Pendragon and regarded you as her own younger brother. During your infancy, you had a new name and a caretaker named Wang. But the heavens do not fulfill people's wishes. The happy life you had hoped for did not come as expected. That night the Rain Clan suffered the tragedy of extermination because they sheltered the fairy of the paradise. Under the desperate protection of the clan, you and Sister Wang successfully escaped from the castle together. But you are trapped in the forest and lost in your direction. Hungry you, let out weak cries. Just when your sister feels helpless. A burly old man with one eye walked out from the depths of the forest. He took you and your sister to his residence and provided you with food and shelter from the cold. The old man loves you very much, doting on you and holding you in his arms, constantly rubbing your face with his gray beard. The old man wanted to take you as an adopted son, but was rejected by your sister Wang. Your sister Wang believes that you are her only surviving relative. No matter what happens in the future, we cannot separate you. As if afraid of being taken away by the one-eyed old man, your crying becomes even louder and more powerful. To appease you, the old man intends to teach you some survival skills. Your sister did not refuse, gladly accepted. Because she has realized the extraordinary qualities of the old man. You will be trapped in the forest, most likely by this old man's masterpiece. Your sister Wang is very cautious. The narrow room is divided into 2 rooms. Sister Wang will take you to a relatively comfortable area and set up a barrier to isolate you from external exploration. Be prepared for this. The one-eyed old man just smiled slightly. Allow your sister Wang to act recklessly on his territory. Fairy calendar 4026 years. You have turned 10 on your birthday, which is your most important day. Over the past decade you and your foster sister are by the side of the one-eyed old man. Learn a mysterious rune called Luan. Your learning ability has amazed even the elderly. You have learned the original Luan. As encouragement to you, on your birthday, he gave you a simple and unadorned gray spear. You have obtained Gungnir, seal. From that day on he began to teach you and your sister about combat skills. But the one-eyed old man found that you are better at using a big sword than a long spear. Therefore, he has gifted you a new weapon. In order to make you worthy of this sword, his training for you has become even more rigorous. You have obtained Sword of Victory. Valentine, seal. Fairy calendar year 4032. You are 16 years old. After 6 years of cultivation, your swordsmanship has entered the realm of strength. Your body has also grown fully, young, tall, and handsome. But your sister Wang's body has remained unchanged for 16 years. The old man tells you that fairies are different from humans, they are eternal living beings. In theory, they are a mysterious race of immortality. If you were lost in thought, you vaguely sense something. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. The Last Descendants of the Dragon. King Arthur of the Fairy Kingdom. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Fairy calendar year 4033. You are 17 years old. In daily training, you wielded your sword and defeated your sister for the first time. Even as a human, you now possess stronger combat power than the fantasy species. The one-eyed old man is very satisfied with you and presents you with a majestic heavenly horse. You have obtained 8-legged pony. Sleipnir. The old man told you and sister Wang. You have grown up and possess impressive abilities. It's time to leave him and venture into the outside world. Fairy calendar year 4034. You are 18 years old. You and sister Wang have traveled around and are accustomed to the killings between clans. Fairies die at all times, followed by the birth of new life. You and sister Wang exchanged a glance and remembered the tragedy of the Rain clan. You have thought of the legend of King Arthur. Looking at the victory sword in your hand, you decide to do something. Fairy calendar year 4035. You are 19 years old. You and sister Wang have arrived at the territory of the Winged clan. You easily defeated the small thug of the Winged clan. The powerful strength you have demonstrated has shaken the spirits of the Winged clan. Ding! Trot has become your companion. The Winged clan has become your vassal. Your royal path is officially starting from this moment. Fairy calendar year 4036. You are 20 years old. You set up the arena in the Tooth clan. Declare war on all the Tooth clans with the power of one person. Over 60 days and nights, over 1,000 battles, without any obstacles. Only a few fairies can hold out one turn in your hands. You use absolute force to become the idol of the Tooth clan. Ding! The Tooth clan has become your vassal. Your illustrious reputation is rapidly spreading among the fairy clan. Fairy calendar year 4037. You are 20.1 years old. You and sister Wang are going to the Mirror clan together. For your arrival, the fairies held a grand welcome ceremony. They, who possess the ability to prophesy, have already observed the future scenery. They respect you as the king and wish to belong to your command. Under their leadership, you went to the Dragon Skeleton Marsh. It is said that there is a legendary dragon buried, named Albion. Exiting for 4.6 billion years, located at the pinnacle of the fantasy species, the crown position within the crown position. When the planet is invaded by the white giant, everything on the surface evaporates into an endless sea. Albion, who was unable to return to the amusement park, was exhausted and eventually collapsed here. Even if the heart stops beating, some body tissues are still alive. Because only the left claw was cut off before it was about to decay and fall off. From that day on, he stayed in the lake, unaware of whether he was alive or dead. No bones or muscles, no scales or hair. I don't know what joy and sorrow are. I used to be a dragon and didn't even know what I wanted. What is only alive cannot be called life. Looking at the filthy flesh tissue in the lake, you seem to remember something. Despite Wang's strong dissuasion, you, dressed in white armor, entered the swamp. The black filth contaminated the holy knight armor. Even the pure white cloak was stained with filth. Please don't do this, noble king. That kind of lowly creature will dirty you. The persuasion and panicked pleading of the fairies echoed on the riverbank. Why do you say that? She struggled like that, desperately yearning for the light. This lake is very shallow, I can definitely save her. You smiled and rejected the fairies, determined to continue moving towards the lake. How terrifying. How disgusting. Just like rotten fruits. Oh my goodness. That thing is still wriggling. Your esteemed king. Please leave as soon as possible. The fairies eagerly responded, to them, how noble you are. But you pick up the wriggling organization from the dirty swamp and convey goodwill to it. It seems like a dawn breaking through endless darkness, giving birth to self-awareness to ignorant creatures. Because it's the first time I've seen something beautiful. The first time I developed a feeling called admiration. The wriggling flesh tissue transformed into a beautiful white-haired girl with blue dragon horns in the mud. Because I touched light, I yearned for light. She wants to become a life like this night. Perhaps just born, with an instinctive fear of everything outside. The dragon girl you held in your arms, her cold body trembling slightly. Your body is so cold, you must have frozen out. You untie the cloak behind you and wrap it around the girl's body. Feeling this warmth, the girl opened her small mouth and made a voice that was difficult to understand. My Leukina. Name the weak life in your arms. Because people live, they always have a name. The girl is very satisfied with this name. Ding. You have met a new companion. Melicino. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Youth will eventually become king. River God. In the lake. You are listening at novel full.audio. Fairy calendar year 4038. You are 20.2 years old. Due to the addition of Melicino, challengers from various ethnic groups suffered a disastrous defeat and withdrew. Your reputation has long been unknown to everyone. From the southern plains of Cornwall to Norwich by the sea, the fairies whisper your name. King Arthur. The savior of the stars. More and more fairies have joined your ranks, offering loyalty to you. You and Sister Wang select elite fairy knights from various clans under your command. Established a demon roundtable knight legion centered around you with terrifying strength. Fairy calendar year 4039. You are 20.3 years old. You lead the Knights of the Round Table to fight everywhere on the earth. You have encountered a foolish vampire fairy who has been bullied. Out of sympathy, you have taken her under your command. You have met your companion. Bawan Shi. The Wind Clan fears your strength and leads the demons to submit. Fairy calendar 4040 years. You are 20.4 years old. The Tuji clan offers loyalty to you. The best craftsman has crafted new armor for you. Your Knights of the Round Table are known as the teachers of benevolence and righteousness. Countless humans, rescued. 12 named Knights of the Round Table, composed of humans and fairies. Under your encouragement and persuasion, the 12 Knights of the Round Table are like siblings. The power of fairies and the intelligence of humans complement each other. The status of the human race has significantly improved. Massacre and torture have become taboos that cannot be touched. Fairy calendar 4041 years. You are 25 years old. The Winged clan offers loyalty to you. You are riding an 8-legged divine horse while camping and resting by the lake when your holy sword unfortunately slips into the lake. The fairy in a white dress reveals her true identity from the lake. You don't know at this time, the fairy in the lake in front of me is the embodiment of the planet's inhibitory power. Young king. What you have dropped is this. The sword of oath of victory. Or this holy spear. At. The fairy in the lake summoned 2 divine weapons and sent out soul torture like you. You are well aware of the importance of honesty, and your soul has not been obscured by the treasures in front of you. The fairy in the lake is very satisfied with your honesty, so she will give you 2 divine weapons as gifts. You have obtained the holy sword. Sword of oath of victory. You have obtained the holy spear. At. Fairy calendar 4042 years. You are 26 years old. You and Sister Wang have arrived at the Big Hollow. You are guarded by a holy sword and determined to investigate the truth of the Great Void. As the body descends, at the deepest point of an unknown distance, you see the huge and boundless terrifying corpse of the former beast god. That cursed beast god, filling the entire abyss with fear. Once it erupts, it will inevitably cause an unprecedented disaster. At this moment, you seem to understand something. In order to save billions of lives in the stars, you are determined to eliminate this hidden danger. But at this moment, you have no certainty of victory and can only seal it. You and Sister Wang are stationed here, preparing to build a city here. Fairy calendar 4043 years. You are 27 years old. A giant city named Camelot has risen from the ground. The Knight of the Round Table, who is charging with you, finally has a home. The original fairy clans have all become your subordinates. More and more fairies want to support you as a king. But you did not accept it, but instead gifted the throne to Wang Jie, who has always been with you. Miss Wang was both surprised and angry. She, who grew up with you, believed that you were the most suitable person. But your attitude was very tough, and in the end, you parted ways with Sister Wang. But only you know. You are a human from the amusement park, with a short lifespan of only 100 years. During over 20 years of interaction, Sister Wang has forgotten about this matter. But you can feel that the growth of this body has not stopped. One day, you will become old. Some fairies will challenge authority. The fairy tale kingdom you have built will eventually be destroyed. As a fairy of the amusement park, Sister Wang is the best candidate. Under her protection, the newly emerging kingdom will continue to thrive. Fairy calendar year 4044. You are 27 years old. This year, you ascended to the throne as king. The chaotic fairy tribe gave birth to the first kingdom. Carmelo, where you are, is regarded as a holy city by the fairies. Accompanied by Sister Wang, 12 round table knights support you and climb to the top of the holy city. Cheerful people, excitedly calling out your name. Arthur. The Eternal King. Looking at the kingdom established by oneself, even you cannot help but shed tears. Miss Wang, who loves you deeply, personally brings you the crown. 12 knights of the round table, kneeling on one knee in front of you. The former knightly oath resounds again at this moment. But a group of highly self-sufficient fairies but unable to accept a human and become their own king. Even though this loving king has brought true peace to this land shrouded in the shadow of war. Even if this wise king picks up a mess and builds a fairy tale-like world on the ruins. This group of malicious fairies deceived the clumsy Bawanshi. Using her as a sacrifice, pushed down the big hole. Disaster coming. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. To the Eternal King. First simulation. You are listening at novel full.audio. Fairy calendar year 4044. The curse of the beast god has turned into black mud that erodes all things, giving rise to countless tentacles from within the great void. Countless fairies have been invaded by disasters and transformed into irrational monsters. The sky is shrouded in dark red clouds, rendering everything red. The holy city you built with your own hands is nothing more than a sailboat in the face of this great disaster. Your sister Wang activated the protective barrier of the holy city, but it only temporarily slowed down the spread of the disaster. Everyone knows that even the protection of the holy city of Carmelo cannot survive this disaster. Even a fairy tale-like story will eventually come to an end. The end has come. No living creature on this land can survive in the catastrophe. You command the Knights of the Round Table under your command to assist the people in evacuating the holy city. Watching the knights leave, you have a peaceful smile on your face. Take off the crown from your head and gently wear it on Miss Wang's head. This is your final instruction. Before you do something foolish, it's better to think carefully first. How could you, a mere human, be a match for a god? The outcome was predetermined from the beginning. You can't win. Miss Wang, who loves you deeply, understands your intentions and hopes to stop you. You just smiled and shook your head, your gaze filled with memories of the world. It's not a question of whether we can win or not. But as a king, one must protect their own people. Your words are light, yet they carry an indescribable power. In the moment when Miss Wang lost consciousness, you had jumped off the city wall. In the face of a desperate black tsunami, you are insignificant like a speck of star debris. It's impossible to win. This is a principle recognized by all the people. But even so, you still move forward without hesitation. Accompanying you in battles on all sides, the sword of victory. Valentine shines with unprecedented brilliance. The blazing flames of destruction, the flickering golden thunder. Tens of thousands of zhang of golden sword light flashed between heaven and earth. Evaporate all the black mud on the ground in an instant. Your strength has shaken all the Knights of the Round Table. But only your sister Wang noticed that your arm holding the holy sword had already shown many cracks like fragile porcelain. A wave of disaster has just been stopped. A bigger catastrophe, yet closely followed. The massive beast god's body rises from the great void. Like a giant mountain overlooking ants, it is despairing. Another holy sword also appears in your hands. The sword of oath of victory, gifted by the fairy in the lake, is your most precious treasure and rarely appears in battles. This magnificent sword has 13 constraints. It is a shining holy sword forged to defeat external enemies attempting to destroy the stars, to save the stars. The strongest fantasy. A glimmer of starlight. The dream itself that transcends all time and space and is not realized by all beings. At the same time, this holy sword can also repel all evil golden blades. Sword of victory. Valentine. Swords of oath of victory. The terrifying power of two holy swords has placed a terrifying burden on you. Excalibur. Accompanied by your roar. A huge golden beam, enveloped in flames capable of annihilating the world, rises from the shattered earth. This seems like a miraculous light from the inner sea of stars, instantly drowning the huge beast god. The dazzling strong light dispersed the black clouds that enveloped the sky. Sunshine once again falls on the earth. The huge body of the beast god has disappeared from sight in the light. The great calamity that could destroy the world was successfully resolved by you alone. Brave and fearless warriors have once again saved the world. The cheers of countless people echoed from behind you. Tired of you, you have already burned out the last trace of life. You stand in place with a holy sword in your hand and a smile, presenting your majestic figure to the people. Pieces of skin peel off from your body. Blood and flesh turn into particles and dissipate with the strong wind. Amidst the applause of everyone, your legendary life belongs to you, and now you have turned to the last page. Fairy calendar 4045 years the first year of your passing. Morgan, the traitor, ascended to the throne. This cruel queen rules your fairy tale kingdom. 12 knights of the Round Table became the executioners under their command. The fairies who planned the great disaster in the past, along with their respective ethnic groups, were brutally slaughtered, regardless of gender or age. This cold-blooded slaughter has lasted for thousands of years. Until even the next generation of fairies in the clan cannot be born. This winter-like queen hates and curses all the fairies. She levied magic on all the fairies and strengthened her own strength. The strict laws she promulgated have made the people suffer unbearably. Fairy calendar year 4046, the second year of your death. Major cities, even the marginal areas, and those barren villages. Your statue is gradually appearing in various regions of the fairy kingdom. Fairies and humans began to mourn the eternal king of the past. They always believed the loving king they love has not left forever. He just returned to the inner sea of the stars and, under the care of the fairy in the lake, peacefully fell asleep. One day the loving king I will return from the amusement park with a new identity. The traitor Morgan and the rebellious knight of the Round Table will both be tried. The fairy tale paradise established by that king will eventually reappear on the earth. This simulation ends here, you have obtained. Spirit card. Introduction to props. Name. Yingling card level. Epic gold type. Disposable consumables introduction. After using this prop, you will gain all the abilities in the simulation. Tip. Silently recite, use item, to activate, please use it as soon as possible. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. System reward distribution. Gorgeous numerical values. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Use props. At the moment of exiting the Sims, Zhao Ziqing decisively used the props. Spirit card, perfect fusion. Detailed data, please check the panel. The system prompt appeared in front of Zhao Ziqing. Query. Zhao Ziqing issued another order. Imperial Masters Archives real name. Zhao Ziqing gender. Male camp. Good order source. Strange tale worthy of the name of a savior, a shining person who has been pursuing his ideals throughout his life. Capability parameters muscle strength. A durability. A agility. A magic. A lucky. EX, son of Chi luck, treasure. EX intrinsic skills the original Lu N level. EX the Nordic god king personally taught that runes have tremendous power and magical effects. It can achieve miracles that many magicians cannot achieve in their lifetime. Shining journey level. EX a childlike heart that is free from external interference and always full of hope. No matter what kind of calamity, there will always be a miracle of turning danger into safety. Charisma level. The ability to govern a country. By relying on this ability, one can boost the morale of the army they lead. Introduction to Treasure's Wind King barrier level. C-type. Anti-human treasure. By winding several layers of wind, the refractive index of light changes, covering the auxiliary barrier of the sword body. Swords of Oath of Victory level. Type. Effect. Sword of Victory. Valentine level. Type. Effect. Gungnir level. Type. Effect. A spear that shines in the end level. A++ type. City treasure equipment. The anchor of the storm that locks the stars. The true appearance of the legendary Holy Spear is the tower connecting the surface and inside of the world. When the real name is unsealed, both the level and type will change. Although there is no rank, the magnificent numerical value can be called a panel monster. Not to mention those 4 restricted level treasures, he can all rank among the strongest. The final reward for this simulation is still very satisfactory. The simulation is over as soon as I opened my eyes, tears had already slipped from the corners of my eyes. The 27-year simulation life is so real. Miss Wang Melicino 12 Knights of the Round Table. The Knight Legion that accompanied him through life and death memories kept lingering in his mind one after another. This strange feeling is like reincarnation. Experience a brief and glorious life as Arthur. Lord, what's wrong with you? The Lion King noticed something unusual about the Lord and leaned down to inquire with concern. She could sense a strange change happening on the Lord's body. The previously inexperienced child has become mature and stable. His clear eyes contain too much emotion. Presumably without her knowledge, something must have happened to the Lord. I had a dream. Zhao Ziqing murmured absent-mindedly, still immersed in that simulation life. Is it a nightmare? The Lion King smiled gently and asked with concern. It shouldn't be counted. I dreamt of myself becoming a savior. Accompanied by Sister Wang, he ascended to the throne as king. Zhao Ziqing spoke with emotion, recounting his wonderful experiences in his dreams. The Lion King listened attentively and became the best listener for this lord. The story told by the Lord is very short, as it only lasted for 27 years. But even the Lion King was lost in his heroic and legendary short life. Silence for a moment. The king asked softly. Your Majesty, do you regret everything you have done? The words fell. She gazed at the expression on the Lord's face, trying to guess his true thoughts from the subtle changes in his expression. Regret? No. When it comes to the happiness of our people, I believe that all of this is not meaningless. Zhao Ziqing pondered for a moment, then shook his head with a smile and spoke his heart. But his answer made the Lion King's expression stagnate. On the plains of thousands of years a wise man once asked a girl a similar question. The girl's answer was almost indistinguishable from the words of the Lord. Just the girl's final dismal ending was filled with a black and humorous satire. Sensing the change in the Lion King's expression, Zhao Ziqing realized that he might have touched the other person's sore spot. He moved his head away from the Lion King's knee pillow and climbed out of the bed with just one flip. The speed is so fast that even the Lion King, who has regained his senses, did not notice it. Yeah, after integrating the spirit card, Zhao Ziqing now possesses the strength and intensity of top-level heroes. Hey, I'm afraid I won't be able to sleep tonight. Let's go out for a walk, blow the cold air. Zhao Ziqing stood up from the ground, lazily moving his body and inviting the Lion King. Okay. The Lion King readily agreed. With her close protection, the safety of the Lord is not a problem at all. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Control the Holy Grail War. Zhao Ziqing sourness. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. On the late night streets at the moment when the door was pushed open, a sharp cold wind rushed towards us. The previously hazy night sky is now covered by large black clouds. White snowflakes quietly fell from the night sky. A heavy snow is coming soon. It's really cold. Zhao Ziqing exhaled a breath of hot air, warming his warm and icy palms. But at this moment, a thick pure white cloak was lifted by a pair of delicate palms and gently draped over his back. Your Majesty. Pay more attention to your body and be careful of wind and cold. The voice of the Lion King's concern echoed from Zhao Ziqing's side. The Lion King, dressed in a blue dress, stands on the earth like an ice queen in a fairy tale. And you? Zhao Ziqing touched his cloak and asked awkwardly. I am already a divine body, naturally unaffected by the cold. Speaking of which. Lord, where are you going? The Lion King smiled slightly and asked the Lord where he was going. I'm not sure. Like you, I am also a stranger. Walk around, maybe you'll encounter good things. Zhao Ziqing spoke frivolously, tying the buckle of his cloak tightly, and taking steps eagerly. Perhaps it's late at night, coupled with the cold weather. The empty street has no passers-by. Even the cars in motion appear particularly rare. Half an hour later at the entrance of the convenience store in front of the station, Zhao Ziqing leaned against the vending machine, sipping canned coffee and looking at the electronic clock at the station. The world he is in. Now it's 1993. According to his intelligence, the Fourth Holy Grail War occurred in 1994. There is still over a year left until now. That is to say, there are too many places to operate in this. If he wants, even those lords who will participate in the Holy Grail War in a year can be assassinated in advance. The system he owns can earn rewards by rewriting the plot. Regardless of the plot direction, whether it is a tragic and dark story, or a joyful one. He can obtain items to strengthen himself. Thinking of this, Zhao Ziqing raised his head and looked at the Lion King standing beside him, enjoying the snow scenery. Lion King, do you know the essence of the Holy Grail War.? Zhao Ziqing suddenly spoke up and asked. I know. 7 lords use the Holy Grail to summon heroic followers from different eras. The followers fought against each other, vying for the ultimate winner. The ultimate winner can fulfill any wish. The Lion King calmly answered. She has no wishes to fulfill, nor any needs. The best word to describe the Lion King is to have no desires or demands. She is only here to protect someone's safety. If what interests her in this Holy Grail War? I'm afraid it's the Night King. To be precise. It should be another self. As the Lion King answered the question, he also turned his gaze to his own lord. Your Majesty. What is your wish placed on the Holy Grail? She changed her tone and asked curiously. In her opinion. Since my own lord, I am one of the 7 lords who participated in the Holy Grail War. There must be an attempt to fulfill the Holy Grail, a wish that relies on miracles. Regarding this, Zhao Ziqing just sneered and shook his head. I'm afraid I'll disappoint you. The Holy Grail, which once made countless magicians' eyes hot, has long been contaminated. The miracle of the past has now become a container for storing malice. That is the malice of nearly 6 billion people. Calling it the evil of this world is not an exaggeration. That kind of thing, once released, the consequences will be unimaginable. Zhao Ziqing spoke solemnly about the extremely cruel facts. As a traveler, he knows very well what the Holy Grail is. That's not a universal wishing device, but a trigger switch for the end of the world. His words made the Lion King ponder. Previously, seeing the future through the 1,000-mile eye once again came to mind in the Lion King's mind. Black mud malicious, she gazed at the young lord and smiled in approval. It turns out that our own lord had already known the truth about the Holy Grail so early. Lord, do you have any countermeasures? The future picture I see through 1,000-mile eyes. For the Lord, it can be said to be an extremely unfavorable scene. The Lion King asked again. Since she had already made it clear, she decided not to conceal it anymore. Zhao Ziqing was lost in thought, and after a moment, he came up with a bold idea. No countermeasures. Bad idea, there's one. Zhao Ziqing raised a sinister smile at the corner of his mouth, responding to the Lion King's inquiry. Bad idea. The Lion King felt puzzled. How could a king as upright as her use crooked brains? If we could secretly manipulate the Holy Grail War. Perhaps it can lower the level of danger to the lowest level. For example, summon another follower. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.